as Malti rightly pointed out, this is a vast and complex area. And when I started about 4 years back, I was a bit lost. It wasn't clear. You know, there are hundreds of animal shelters in the country. Many of them are poorly run. But there are some learnings that I had, and I think now directionally it's becoming clear what matters most in this whole area. So that's what I'm going to share with you. Um, Sandeep, if you can just go to the next. So one of the learnings which I had, which I never realized, my door of awareness had not opened, is how animals use of animals, or rather abuse of animals, has become normalized in our society over many centuries and decades. So whether it is food, whether it is entertainment, whether it is loading them with weights for work, whether testing our medicines on them, which is, I work for a pharma company, and that's one of the most horrible things that we do. I think we test the intensity of suffering is unbelievable. We use them for food and so on, and it has just become normal because it is hidden from public eye. Like Bhartiji said, awareness is low. And therefore, this was a learning that I had, that use has become normalized. The second thing is, I had not actually learned about this word sentience. I actually learned it about 4 years back or so. Sentience, I'm sure many of you would know, means the ability to feel pleasure and pain. And actually, animals feel pleasure and pain like us. There's enough research now, and there are videos where I've seen a pig actually picks up a particular part of a jigsaw puzzle using his mouth, his or her mouth, and puts in the right place. And a cow is playing with a ball. So they are sentient beings like us, but we are treating them like a commodity. That was another learning I had. And Sandeep, you're moving too fast. So that's okay. You can. The other thing is, there is a stereotype which is animal welfare is about dogs and cats on the streets. That's all. The truth is that, unfortunately, probably 95 or 98% of the suffering lies in the farm animals, billions of them which are slaughtered and kept in terrible condition. And with the, we all think that in villages, there is a family of a villager who has a cow, treating cow like a mother because we get milk from her and is taking care of her. But the reality is very different. It has now become corporatized. There are large dairies where the cows are kept in terrible conditions. The male calves are starved to death because there's no need for them because of artificial insemination and so on. So, and then animals under experimentation and so on. So it's not just about dogs and cats on the streets, is what I learned 4 years back. And therefore, just go next. And my last learning was, as I got deeper into it, that it's all interconnected. So it's not just about animals. The fact is that if we are just thinking about ourselves as a race, then we need to coexist with the animals, because the impact of animal agriculture, the livestock, on the climate, and I never knew this. The 14.5% of greenhouse gas emissions actually come from animal agriculture. Generally, people talk about energy, transportation, coal power, coal plants, and so on. But many documents have been published, research by highly credible organizations about the greenhouse gas emissions, the land and water usage, and so on. The good news is that, you can move next, Sandeep. And therefore it is closely tied to sustainability. This was a learning I had. The good news, I think, is that now there are new technologies which are emerging, which can replace animals. So in drug experimentation, now in the last 12 months, 1.5 years, regulators in many countries have actually amended laws to allow non-animal models. It will still take many years. Similarly, in the area of food, and I know it's a very sensitive topic, diet, because of cultural reasons, because of our beliefs that animal protein is needed for health. We have certain diet preferences, but the fact is that animal protein heavy diet impacts climate adversely and also impacts our own health adversely over a period of time. and there is enough evidence in this area. So that's the good news, that I think this is tractable. Just go next. So what uh, I started, and this is some data. I don't think I need to just go through this water, deforestation, and so on. My attempt has been, I know I'm using the word I, but actually it's collective effort. We managed to, because of my corporate background, we have managed to get a few leaders from the corporate sector. One of the things that I try to do continuously is to reach out to people who have affinity to the cause, who feel for the animals, and then people are able to help in different ways. Some of them open doors using their network. Some of them put in a word to the CSR team for funding or sponsoring a project. Some of them create connections and so on and so forth. So that's